From the GSN studios, welcome to the first ever edition of Greyhound Football. With Bernie head coach Hendrix, I'm your host, Brant Freeman. Coming up in our inaugural show, we'll look back at the first 4 games of the season for Bernie, including a look back at the game this past Friday against Sweetwater, with a look ahead as well to the game this Thursday against Fredericksburg, an old-time rivalry between the Greyhounds and the Billies. Again, I'm Brant Freeman, joined via Zoom by Bernie head coach Hendrix. Coach, how are you?
Doing great this morning. Thanks for having me on.
Well, Coach, looking forward to it. Looking forward to working this show with you as we move forward here in the 2020 season. An unprecedented one for sure. But let's kind of start with the fact that your football team is 3-1 through these first 4 games. A great start to the season. Winning your first 3, came up short this past Friday against Sweetwater. We'll get into the game against the Mustangs more in a moment. But as you look at the season to this point as a whole, what has stood out to you about your football team?
Well, to this point, we're very happy. Things that have stood out is I think we've got a very strong locker room. I think we've got a very strong senior class. We've got a group that like each other. They really like football. So they've been really fun to coach. We haven't had coach effort. Sometimes that's one of the hardest things, especially early on when it's hot and you're really kind of coaching effort. And this group hasn't done that. So that's been it's been awesome. And so I think that's shown on the field. I think we played really well. Really happy with our effort. A little bit of lack of execution Friday, which I know we'll get into later. But other than that, the attitude, the effort, and how we played at a real high level. So been happy.
You look back at the season opener, impressive win over Beeville Jones, avenging a loss against the Trojans from a year ago. Week 2, a victory over Splendora, and then in week 3 on the road against Burnett. But then again, this past Friday, a team that pushed you unlike any other you've seen so far this year. Sweetwater, a shootout of a game. The Mustangs won it 40-35. When you look back at that game, what stands out and what areas do you feel as if you could have played better?
Well, we could have played better in all 3 phases, offense, defense, and the kicking game. I look at, you talk about our season as a whole. When we played Beeville, we probably couldn't have had a better start to a season, to our first quarter, to a half. It was electric. They turned it over. We stopped them 3 and out. We hit big plays. We got all the momentum, and everything that could have gone right did. Fast forward to Sweetwater, everything that could have gone wrong in the first quarter pretty much did for us. We run into each other on our opening possession, fumble the ball. They throw a big fade route, hit a big play. We give up a huge kickoff return. So I was happy with how our players kept their composure and how we competed and really got back in the game, because it was a bad start and we hadn't had to overcome anything like that yet. So I was really happy with that. Like I said, we turned the ball over twice in the Sweetwater game, which has been uncharacteristic of us. Had a couple penalties, and then of course the special teams, our kickoff coverage was not as sharp as it has been. Their first scores came on a 2 short fields, from the 6-yard line and from the 20-yard line. So, and then of course the pick 6. So 21 of their points, kind of were gifts from us. So I think we can build on that moving forward. And we played mistake-free football for the most part up until that point. So anyway, it was like I said, it was good for us. It was good to get in the battle and good to get down and have to come back.
Your offense, 35 points this past Friday. You've scored 30 or more now in all 4 games this season. The play of Rashawn Galloway speaks for itself. Your junior quarterback picking up where he left off from a year ago. From a maturity standpoint, how far along has he come as your starting quarterback?
Well, he said it best in week 1, before the Beeville game. He said, "I'm not even nervous anymore. I'm excited." And I think that's a sign of a player who's very confident, who's got a lot of reps, who has a really good handle on what the offense, what we want to do offensively, what every position is doing. Last year, sometimes I felt like he was just trying to survive as a quarterback, which I understand. Being thrown in as a sophomore, it's almost about self-preservation. Now, his confidence level's through the roof. I think he gives that to the rest of our players. And like you said, he's executing at a very high level. So I'm very happy for him. He brings a lot of intangibles to our team. He's confident. He loves to compete. He plays other sports, which which, makes him, in my mind, even a better competitor because he competes year-round, So he's doing a great job, and definitely see a huge difference from year one to year two.
Now, a big weapon for him in the offense, Matt Mahalik, was not available this past Friday, but a player who's really stepped up over the past 3 games has been your sophomore wide receiver, Riley Pekacek. And you mentioned the opening score given up to Sweetwater following a fumble. You answered right back on the very next offensive play, 64 yards for a touchdown for Pekacek. How special of a playmaker has he proven to be?
Well, he is. He's very, very special. He's got another gear, speed-wise, quickness. He's got tremendous hands, and he's a student of the game. He knows what he's doing. He's very smart. A big benefit for him is having a guy like Matt Mahalik, who's a senior, who was an all-district player last year as a junior. And, those two working together through two-a-days, through, the summer, I think has been invaluable for Riley. Matt's such a great player. He's really rubbing off on Riley. And what I like about it is the work ethic, how hard they work. They're really technicians with their routes. They want to do it until they do it right. And, that, again, those little things that they're doing in practice, I think, are showing up in the game. So, ultra proud of Riley. It's hard to step in as a sophomore, but man, he's done a tremendous job. And, he's going to have, obviously, an awesome future here at Berkeley High School the next couple of years.
You look at the 40 points on the other side for Sweetwater, and you did the math earlier, 21 easy points given up because of special teams and turnovers. And your defense, I think the 40 points, again, is kind of misleading. But they were challenged a little bit more this past Friday than they had been the first 3 games, as some big plays were given up by your defense against the Mustangs. Defensively, what were your takeaways from this past Friday?
Well, we did a really good job against the run again. We felt like we stuffed them in the run. We knew this was going to be a huge test for our secondary. When you turn on the film from Sweetwater, the first thing that you notice how fast they are. They are extremely fast, the fastest team we've played by far. Number 22 is a special athlete. Number 4 is a special athlete, and their quarterback is a lot like Rashawn, meaning he played all last year as a sophomore. So he's seen it all. He's got a lot of poise, and I think he's a gritty little leader as well. So we knew this was going to be a great test for us, and it was. And we had trouble at times covering them, and then sometimes we covered the break. We had a couple of breakdowns in the secondary with communication. So again, a tremendous opportunity for us to learn and to get better, find out kind of what we have and what we need to do moving forward. So, you take away a lot of positives from it, and then you also take away some things that we definitely have to work on and we've addressed this week, and hopefully we play better Thursday night.
Still to come, a preview of Thursday's game against Fredericksburg. That, again, a look back at the first 4 games of the season. And we'll take a deeper dive into the Sweetwater game coming up after this as we look back at the game-changing plays. More of Greyhound football with head coach Shea Hendrix after this on the Greyhounds Sports Network.
If you want to train like the athlete, and I mean truly train like a professional athlete, you come to D1.
Athletes are the staple of what we want to be. You want to be healthy, you want to be strong, you want to have a smile on your face, you want to be energetic when you walk into places and just have a presence about you. And so I think D1 creates that atmosphere, and they understand the opportunity they have in taking these individuals and making them better.
D1 Bernie, the place for the athlete.
This place is going to change the way I play the game.
All right, so first we run a little move out of our formation, and you can see our tight end and our H are going to opposite sides. So we get the matchup we want, the safety we want. First thing I want to show is just the protection here. See, we got a great pocket, but you can see our running back there, Scott Hetty, right there, does a great job of picking. They blitz a guy off the backside, and we obviously have our back, protect our quarterback's back. So that's where it starts. I mean, you can see the pocket, and boy, he rips this ball. I don't know if you can appreciate how good of a throw that is. That's to the wide side of the field on a line, and obviously Riley Pekacek does the rest of it, makes a great run there. So we have another huge block here. Usually anytime you see a scoring play, especially on a run, if you just let it roll here, you can watch our tight end. He's here at the bottom of the screen, 18, Colby Hunter. He has a great block downfield. Like I said, usually on a big run or a big play, there's excellent blocking or something happens downfield to spring him. And you can see him. He's on a route. He sees we get it caught right here, and then boom, he pancakes the free safety right there, 22, right in the middle of your screen. So obviously that's the last piece of the puzzle for the touchdown. So defense, we got him in a 3rd and long finally, and this is when we're kind of in our mode here. We got 4 really good defensive linemen, and they're in attack mode here. So go ahead and let it play. We get a huge sack here. I thought this was a big momentum play early for us. We got him off the field, and then boom, Tanner McCarter with a huge sack. You can see we're running a little spin coverage, cover 3, and we just get enough of a collision down here on their slot receiver. That's their best guy. That's 22. The quarterback's looking at him right now, and we get him off his route just enough where he's got to pull the ball down. He may have came open late, but that was enough time for us to get a big sack and get off the field, and I think this led to another score. From there, we felt like we had a chance to block one from the left side, so we called our left block right here, and you can see if you let it roll, John Warden slips through. We bring 3 of them. We got 2 blockers for our 3 guys, and what a great effort play. Look at them selling out right there. When we made this play right here, I really thought we were going to win the football game. We were down, I think, a couple scores at this point, maybe a score, but that right there got us right back in the game. Here we go. So there's the 3. There's the 3 off the edge. We run a little twist game inside, and they leave John. But look at that effort selling out right there. So that's what I like. That was an awesome hustle play. Once the play's over, too, you can look at our sideline and see all the energy. That's why special teams are so important. The energy that a big play creates, and you can see everybody's excited, jumping up and down, and that, so we get the ball, great field position. We've set up this play throughout the game. We've thrown to Riley Picacci a couple times on what we call our fish route or our bubble route, and so here, go ahead and let it roll. You can watch the receiver down here coming to act like he's blocking. Rashawn gives a pump, and then boom, he's by him. So that's our play, and that again, another huge play. I think we score. Great job up front. We get the protection we want. Great pocket, and then again, just drops it right into the breadbasket here to Jackson. Great over-the-shoulder catch. Little play to our tight end here. We got a big 6'3" tight end, Kobe Hunter. Get him across the middle on a safety. Good job by Rashawn throwing the ball up in the air to him. Let him go make a play, and he does. So we turn the guy loose, which we knew we would. Rashawn's hot on that, so he's got to get the ball out of his hands, which he does. And Kobe makes a great catch. So, right there, felt like late in the game we had all the momentum, and we just couldn't get a stop to get the ball back. So.
Hi, I'll take
I'm
the
going to get
Charger
the
burger.
Greyhound burger, please.
Greyhound burger.
Charger burger.
Charger burger. Mushrooms, Swiss, caramelized onions.
Greyhound burger, bacon and American cheese.
Charger burger.
Greyhound burger.
Charger burger.
Greyhound burger.
Charger burger.
Hey guys, you can like both of them at the same time.
We'll take 2.
And we are back. Greyhound football with head coach Che Hendrix on the Greyhounds Sports Network. Again, we have looked back at the first 4 games of the year and a look back at this past Friday against Sweetwater. But this is a short week for Bernie. The Greyhounds next play Thursday against an old-time rival, the Fredericksburg Battlin Billies. And you look back at the game a year ago, a thriller, double overtime, won though by Fredericksburg. Coach, as you look back at that game, what stands out about it, and just how tough of a loss was that?
It was tough, but it was one of those games where we walked out with a head up high. We had a lot of injuries. I didn't even realize it. So I looked back and saw who was playing on our team. We started a left tackle and a right tackle who never started before, and another offensive lineman. We had major injury at corner and safety. We were banged up, and so to get to that point and to have a chance to win, I was proud of our guys for fighting through. That was a great football game. We made some huge plays down the stretch. They made some big plays, so that's what you want, and it was good. Good game.
These two programs, again, have been rivals for such a long time. They'd been in a district with one another forever. This obviously, though, is a non-district game. Just how important was it for you and for Fredericksburg staff to continue to schedule this game in non-district?
Yeah, Coach Boston and I, we talk quite a bit. We become friends and have a good relationship, and this is something that we want to commit to forever if we're not in the same district. You know, we always want to play each other and keep this thing going because it's good for both communities. You know, it's good for our teams. If we're not playing in district together, it makes us better. You know, it really prepares us to go into district. So two good programs. You know, they're well coached. They play hard. You know, it's a good, healthy rivalry. It's a lot of fun. So this is something that, you know, we want to continue to play. You know, it's hard to believe we're not in the same district. You know, I've never been in district with Fredericksburg. This is my third year, and it's always been a non-district game, so it will be next year too. So maybe it'll always be. I don't know. Maybe we'll get back with each other soon. Who knows?
As you look at the Billies this year, there are a lot of parallels between Fredericksburg and yourselves. Each team is 3-1. Each team began the season 3-0. Each team coming off of tight, tough losses this past Friday. In the Billies' case, a 21-20 loss against Wimberley. As you look at this year's Fredericksburg team, what challenges do they present?
The same as they always do. They're big and they're physical. You know, they do a great job up front. They run the football extremely well, and then they hit huge plays in the passing game. You know, they look similar to how they have the last couple of years, where they got really good skilled players and they've got a good trigger man. And then defensively, they've got a good defensive line. They play extremely hard. They're very disciplined and well coached. They're always in their gaps, and then they can always bring pressure. And so, you know, we have our hands full like always, and we're expecting a really good game.
You spoke about the offense. You look at the 3 wins Fredericksburg has this year. They scored 40 or more in all 3 of them, over 50 twice. And Cole Immel has been a phenomenal quarterback so far this season for Fredericksburg. You played a really good quarterback last week in Sweetwater and Leo Holsey. How does Cole Immel compare to the quarterbacks you've already seen this year?
Yeah, he's a little bit different. I think he's definitely the best runner. You know, he's piled up a lot of yardage in the run game, and he runs like a real running back there, you know, and so he presents a lot of problems in the quarterback run game, and they do a really good job of hitting on perimeter run and trying to get outside, and then all of a sudden he's the one running up the middle. He's gone, and he presents a lot of issues that way, and then he's got a really good arm. You know, they're really hurting people on deep balls. A little bit different scheme than Sweetwater. Sweetwater threw a little more quick game and tried to get the ball out a little more. They did take their deep shots, obviously, but not as much as Fredericksburg will. Fredericksburg wants to run the ball, run him, get to the edge, and then take huge shots off that. So he's playing at a really high level. You know, he's making great decisions. He's not turning the ball over. So hopefully we get him into some third longs and make him in the passing situations, because when it's second short, third short, they kind of have what they want.
So defensively, as we now change gears here a little bit, Fredericksburg has 8 sacks through 4 games. They've also forced 8 turnovers. Stats that tell you just how aggressive this defense can be based off of film. Is that what you're seeing?
Yeah, that's what we're seeing. You know, they have a good front, and they're getting after the quarterback, and they do bring pressure when they feel like they need to. You know, we've got to do a good job of moving the sticks and winning on first down. You know, I think that's what they've done a good job of, is putting people in second, third, and long. And again, when you're in second, third, and long now, they can blitz, they can play coverage and get pressure with 4. They kind of dictate what they want to do. So we've got to do a good job on first down for sure. We've got to mix it up and keep them off balance. I think that's the key for us offensively.
And Coach, what are the challenges in getting ready for this game, given the fact it's coming off of a short week?
You know, we're used to playing on Thursday. We played on Thursday probably twice of the last few years. We'll play on Thursday again in district. You know, this part of the season, I don't mind the Thursday game. I think it's good to break up the monotony a little bit. I think it's good to get back on the field. So, you know, it's not a big deal to us. We've had our 2 morning practices already, Monday and Tuesday morning. We've got those out of the way. We've had great weather. Kids got a bounce in their steps. So I'm looking forward to playing on Thursday, and then maybe going and watching some other guys play on Friday.
Well, Coach, best of luck Thursday against Fredericksburg. Again, the Greyhounds and the Billies meet this Thursday at 7 o'clock at Bernie ISD Stadium. Hope you can make it out and catch the Hounds against the Billies as they renew this old-time rivalry. That's going to wrap up our very first edition of Greyhound Football with head coach Che Hendrix. For Coach Hendrix, I'm Brant Freeman. Enjoy the game on Thursday.